Hello, and welcome to Rugby This Evening. This evening, we haven't got a wobbly desk. We've got a desk that is perfectly balanced, as all things should be.
You?
What are you doing on my desk?
I took your joke from you.
Rugby This Evening!
I'll take everything from you!
That was my favourite joke.
Ah!
Hello, and welcome back to Rugby This Evening. A quick thinker for you to start with. Is the desk really wobbly? Or are we wobbly? And the desk is just standing still. Just one game today then in Pool B for Bad Movie, Italy versus South Africa. With New Zealand on top of that pool and Canada and Namibia languishing with 0 points, this was a straight shootout for the quarterfinals. Come, let me describe it for you now, in 80 minutes, in 80 seconds.
80 minutes in 80 seconds!
Yes, this is 80 minutes in 80 seconds, Italy versus South Africa today. Maybe it was a bit premature to write off the Italians earlier in the series. It wasn't, because they have delivered some pretty impressive performances against Namibia and Canada that count for nothing. So perhaps they can repeat their victory over the Springboks from 3 years ago in Florence. They won't. Could I please have 80 seconds on the clock? Oh, there we are. Thank you. And here we go. South Africa, an early try for Kolbe, scoring a lovely finish. Pollard converts. Italy get on the board with a penalty for Tommaso Allen. It's 3 points to 7. Pollard strikes back, a penalty for him. South Africa leading 10-3. However, Italy are in a spot of bother. They've had a prop injured and then one gone off for an HIA. Scrums are currently uncontested. We'll see how that turns out. Mbonambi scored for South Africa. Their second try converted by Pollard. It's 17-3 to the Springboks. And it does look like scrums will be uncontested for the rest of the game as we go into half-time. South Africa 17, Italy 3. So that's it then for the first half. Scrums are now uncontested, which may be a slight relief to the Italians because they can't really live with these large South Africans. And we're into the second half, and Italy have started the brightest, but then they've had a red card. Lavotti's tried to kill a South African. If you're new to rugby, that's generally frowned upon. Murder is and South Africa, they're now a man up and they've already got a penalty, and Pollard has scored that one. It's 3 points to 20 in favour of the Springboks. Kolbe scores the second try. Pollard misses, but South Africa are just running away now with an awful lot of rugby left to play. Am scored for South Africa. It's 32-3 with still a quarter of the match left to go, and this is just going to be painful now. I'm not actually going to watch. For the sake of the Italians, well, I suppose I probably have to. Oh, several tries, so many tries. Oh, God, I heard there were 7. I don't want to check that. I don't want to verify it. This has been 80 minutes in 80 seconds. Hello?
80 minutes in 80 seconds!
There we go then. South Africa will be heading into the quarterfinals. Surprise! Italy will have one more game against the All Blacks next Saturday, which will be another very tricky one. It looks like they're not going to have a competitive match for this whole World Cup. If only someone had seen that one coming and thought of some form of full classification. Let's look at their pool now. South Africa are top for the moment. New Zealand, of course, with 2 games to go, playing against Namibia and the Italians. And that's all that we need to say about that. Time now for our skills test with a celebrity guest. How are you, Head Helms?
I'm Head Helms. We're back here with another skills test on this stupid show, and I'm starting to realize rugby is not a good sport. It's a boring, dull, stupid sport. And that's the only reason I'm not so great at it. Because it's a bad sport in the first place. And this time I've got to do a little bit of pass power. Let's see how this goes. Mediocre. Like your camera work, mister.
Come on.
Wobbly desk, steady man.
Come on, man. Come on, professional.
You imbecile! I was in tag with Jeremy Renner, and that man has an app now. Okay? What have you done?
Stellar.
What have you?
Stellar move.
Tell me the biggest celebrity you've worked with, Mr. Cameraman, Mr. Imbecile, Stupid, not so good rookie cameraman.
Bear Grylls.
Ed, come back. I enjoyed tag. It was ensemble fun for all the family. Just walking away there. Oh, yeah, there he goes. Okay, suppose we'll just give him tomorrow to cool off. Clearly the words bear and grills give him a bit of a trigger. 1 second of rugby ball shaking there, because he wasn't wrong. He is mediocre, and to be honest, I don't like his bad cued. Now then, time for our next feature. We listened to you, our sweet audience. And we went by your recommendation, and you have chosen the next teams for XV VXV. You requested the oldest players to have taken the field at the Rugby World Cup against the youngest players to have taken the field at the Rugby World Cup. And here we are. Let's see them now, starting with the oldest 15. In the front row, 2 Canadians, one from this year, 2019, Hubert Boydens, joined Paul Rendell, the English legend from 1991. In the second row, fresh for our most capped Southern Hemisphere 15, Victor Matfield joins Luke Thompson, another one from the 2019 vintage, courtesy of Japan. The back row has another 2019 player. Shulk Brits played at number 8 against the Namibians the other day. He's joined by Uruguayan legend Diego Ormachea and a Russian man. The halfbacks feature Lucian Serbu of Romania and Samoa's Tusi Pisi, another one from this year. Clearly 2019 is an old vintage. The centres are an all North American affair. Slightly legendary Canadian Spence McTavish joins non-legendary American Mark Williams. And finally, the back three, Mike Catt. Similarly to Matfield, he was in the most capped 15, but for the Northern Hemisphere. And his wingers are James Pritchard, the Canadian legend, and from way back in 1987, Zimbabwe's Eric Barrett, who that picture probably isn't of. That was the oldest 15 then. Let's be honest, it's not very good. Significant contributions come from Canada, with 4 players, and England and South Africa, who have 2 each. Let's move swiftly on past that train wreck of a side to the youngest 15. In the front row, Argentinian legend Federico Menez from 1991 joins actual child from this year, Vano Karkadze of Georgia, and Zimbabwean Gary Snyder. In the second row, absolute legends, the both of them, Cristian Raducanu from Romania and Ivory Coast's Blay Aka, who that also obviously isn't. In the back row, there's actually a bit of strength. Welsh flanker from 1987, Richard Webster, joins Argentinian man with long name, and Italian captain, talisman and legend, Sergio Parisse. Into the backs, and the youngest player to have ever played at the World Cup was Georgian scrum half Vasil Lobzhanidze. He joins legend Craig Brown from Zimbabwe in the halfbacks. The centres again see a little bit of something. Gordon Darcy, Brian O'Driscoll's old partner, joins Vaeneku from Tonga's 1995 team that knocked Fiji out of qualifying. The back three really sets them apart from the oldies then. George North from Wales, we all know that name, and Joe Roff, the Australian fullback and legend, joined Thretton Palermo, the American from 2007. Yes, that was the youngest 15 then. Looking a little bit stronger in the back row and the three-quarter line than their older counterparts. But let's go live right now to the person who was at my desk at the start of the show for the verdict. Thank you very much to the person who suggested those 15s then. Please do suggest your own 15s. Write in, email, send word. Now, of course, it's time for some... predictions. Last evening, head and heart went for South Africa to beat the Italians and was right. 80% of you agreed. That 20% who went for Italy, you're very, very brave and very, very silly. That means the head moves on to 20 and heart on to 16. Very good. Tomorrow, it's a triple header. Australia take on Uruguay. England take on Argentina. And Japan take on Samoa in their penultimate pool games. Head goes for Australia, England and Japan. Heart goes for Australia, England and Japan. We'll see you then. Try to enjoy it and try not to be too biased towards any one team. Bye. No. No.
Fine.
I need to do the end bit.
That was the end bit.
No, this is the end bit.